Have you ever walked into a room feeling great, energized, happy, and then when you left, you were feeling drained, exhausted, or even sad, and then you're not sure why? Chances are you've encountered an energy vampire, and as empaths, we're magnets for energy. So, energy vampires can be extremely depleting to our energy resources. Now, energy vampires aren't real vampires, but they are people who drain us, who deplete us, who just kind of zap the light out of us and dim our brightness. In this video, I'm going to go over a few different ways you can notice them and what to do so you can take care of yourself after you've encountered something like this. So, what are energy vampires? Energy vampires are people that feed off of your energy when you don't even realize it. It can be the really needy friend that is always coming to you, requiring your attention, your advice, you to hold space for them, your time. And oftentimes, they don't quite respect your boundaries. It can be the complainer who's constantly bringing negativity into your world, constantly draining with topics and complaints and whining and victim mentality. Or it could also be the overly dramatic friend that just thrives in chaos. And anytime something starts to get calm, they find something else to stir the pot. And this isn't just limited to friendships either. That's just the example I chose. It can be coworkers, it can be family members, it can be acquaintances, people you interact with. Even depending on your job, it can just be the types of people that you're dealing with face to face. Now, what are some signs that you're dealing with an energy vampire? When you walk into a room or walk into your shift or into a space and you're feeling calm and confident and grounded, and then you leave feeling exhausted, even irritable, angry, chances are that's a big sign that you've picked up on someone's energy that they've brought in. We all have different baselines we operate from, and when other people operate from a lower level, vibrationally speaking, it can really not only show us where the difference is between where they're at and where we are, but as empaths, we're very sensitive to the energy around us. We're very also susceptible to picking up on that energy, internalizing it, and carrying it with us. And sometimes we can leave a space and not even realize that that irritability or anger or frustration isn't ours. It is from the context of the energy that someone else brought into the room, whether it was just their demeanor or whether it was a conversation they were having or just the way they're acting. If you're feeling heavy, sluggish, tight, exhausted, those are some physical signs that you've encountered an energy vampire. But emotionally speaking, if you're feeling absolutely frustrated, grumpy, just irritable, grouchy, like you want to go isolate, even headaches and physical pains can come through too. I know I've kind of blurred the lines between the physical and emotional symptoms, but I think sometimes the physical ones can be linked to an emotional one. So if you're feeling tense and stressed, it can show up as like a headache or neck ache. If you're feeling angry or irritable, for me at least, it can show up more as like a stomach ache or a lower back pain. And oftentimes these come from how we're holding our body when we're in these situations. If someone is bringing tension and you're receiving that tension, there's a chance your physical vessel will tense up as a response to the energy it's surrounded by. And if you're feeling any of these symptoms, it's definitely time to check in with your energy. How to protect your energy in these situations? It's a really tough question and it can be really hard. And the most important piece, that is also often the most difficult piece, especially for empaths, is setting boundaries. Saying no to people when they want to offload on you. Cutting conversations short or walking away when someone is just complaining for the sake of it or being negative. People aren't entitled to your energy. People aren't entitled to your time and your attention. And as empaths, we often don't want to rock the boat and shake things around and disturb someone. But when you don't draw these boundaries and you don't disturb the negativity that's coming at you, you're disturbing your own peace. And that's really self-disrespectful. Practice saying no to things, whether someone needs your help and you just don't have the bandwidth to deal with it mentally, or if someone's asking you to go do something with them and you know their energy makes you feel uneasy, Practice saying no. In the beginning, it's sometimes a bit easier to find an excuse that you're already busy or you have something else planned, but over time it gets pretty easy to just say no when things don't feel aligned. And the way you'll know is your body will respond to it. You'll feel a tightness in your gut or in your chest when you're really not meant to do something and it's not aligned, where if you're meant to go and do it, you'll feel this expansion and this energy start to flow through you in anticipation of that thing you're meant to be doing. Another way to protect your energy is through shielding. Energy work, although you can't necessarily touch it and see it, it can be very felt, and it can sound a little bit funky at first, but the more you do it and the more you get familiar with your baseline energy, the more you're able to pick up on these subtleties and really notice the difference when you're placing these energetic boundaries as well as doing your energetic protection and shielding. Before I leave the house every day, I give myself a shield, a bubble of light. I breathe in and I breathe out and I ground myself. And then I picture with the inhale, light flowing through me and expanding. And as I exhale, I release what's no longer mine. And I also exhale into the light bubble I'm creating so it's able to get bigger and bigger and create this little shield around me. Sometimes I'll sit in that shield for a little bit and just get familiar with what my baseline for the day is. I've been doing this for a while, so I'm pretty familiar with what my energy feels like, but it can be really nice to see what your baseline is for that day, because not all days are created equal. Some days we have more energy or less energy or higher energy, lower energy, more seamless and happy energy, and sometimes we have to talk ourselves into that joy, so it can be really helpful to figure out where your starting point is for the day. So as you move through, you can start to sense when things start to shift from other people, and you can start to decipher what is others that you're picking up on and what is truly yours. A third method to use is cleansing. And cleansing can be done with energy too. In a meditation, you can do a cord cutting to remove the energetic tie you have to that person or situation that has sucked your energy. You could also use sage or Palo Santo, and with intention, these tools are very powerful. You can allow them to cover your whole body, and you can picture the darkness leaving as you welcome in that brightened and that cleansed energy that the herb is able to provide for you. I also personally love to wear different crystals that will help me through my day. I'm Reiki certified, so I'll put some Reiki into them and I'll put them on. I always wear these two protection stones just to kind of filter out and allow whatever negativity comes toward me to bounce back. And it's not always a perfect system, but I have noticed when I do wear protection stones, it's a great reminder of what my intention is for the day, and it gives me a little bit more confidence and willingness to be able to kind of send that energy back out and release my ties to it. The hardest aspect to deal with energy vampires is figuring out when to walk away. I personally, in the last year alone, have pruned out many different relationships, very close relationships, because I took stock and decided to figure out how it was serving me. Tried to see if there was an equal exchange of energy and love and effort and positivity happening. It is really important to make sure that the people you're surrounded with are making you feel good, are uplifting you, encouraging you, supporting you, and anyone that seems to just need you without filling your cup back up is probably an energy vampire. And I know it's easier said than done. It can be hard to leave relationships, whether romantic, platonic, familial. You always have to remember, the more you do those things for other people and allow them access to your energy and please them, the more you're telling yourself and your subconscious that you're not deserving of that peace, that you're not worthy of having better standards. By making these choices and either pulling back from the amount of energy you're willing to pour into someone, or pulling back the amount of investment you have in people, and ideally pulling back the communication and the time you spend with them, by modifying these different things, you're able to have that energy back for yourself. And the universe rewards courage. The universe will see that you are holding yourself to a higher standard, that the amount of energy and the type of energy that you're willing to accept is different. And in turn, it will only offer you higher vibrational opportunities and ideas, because that is your new baseline. If you're letting yourself stay down here, universe is going to match you there. If you raise yourself up and say, no, I deserve better treatment, I deserve more reciprocal relationships, I deserve to feel good when I leave the room with someone I care about, the universe will reward you by putting you in more situations and scenarios that allow you to experience that. So I'd love to know, have you ever dealt with an energy vampire? How did you know and pick up on the fact that they were one? What different types of emotions and sensations came up for you as you were diving into that realization? If you have had the courage and the strength to cut off some of these people, what did you do? And how did you feel after? I'd love to know. Drop them below.